back with more. Let's see. Alright, so we are back with more Trip to Europe, or Ticket to Europe. This is a game I played a while ago, but the full game is out, so I'm gonna play another chapter for y'all, and we'll see how this goes. So this is chapter 3. I kind of speed run through the first 2 chapters because previous video we already played those. So if you haven't seen that video, of course it'll be in like the tag icon. But if you have, then let's get into it. Some documents came for you from the tax office. I guess they sent them to your address. Voice seems familiar. Oh, okay. No, that's impossible. All I see is darkness. Most thoughts in my head. Doesn't make sense. I think I'm still asleep. You know, to the house in Zalzi. Voice continues. There was some mix-up, I think. I answer my sleep. Trying to sleep. I answer my sleep. Did I wake you up? I hear her ask. Sorry, I'll check up on you tomorrow. Lies. I'm in a hotel room. Family members in sight. Relief. So far, so good. In the morning, when I'm on my way to work, okay, I can still hear a voice. Do the papers with you? Go out for a coffee. What do you say? Maybe we're still asleep. I look around, holding my phone in my ear. Must have picked it up in my sleep. Turns out I'm not dreaming after all. What does this mean? She'll be back tomorrow in Egypt. Suddenly I'm thinking straight again. Right? I haven't told her about Africa on purpose. She have a held a sit-in or a hunger strike in my doorway to prevent me from going. Time is good for you. 7. Take a moment to think. About how I can get out of this. She needs to know the truth. When I'm in Warsaw, I'm going to Africa. Come back right this minute, she reacts immediately. Like you still can. Why didn't you tell me? Where exactly are you? Booking you a flight back to Warsaw as we speak. Why is she so hell-bent? It's bad idea to talk to her about it. What's wrong? Yeah, bad idea. Sorry, this is precisely why I didn't tell her about Africa. No matter how old we are, we're always kids in our parents' eyes. It isn't even about me being scared that you're... Where exactly are you? What's the name of the city? Mom continues. Don't get me wrong, the fact that you're there, it does frighten me. I took a surprise trip to Africa and I don't like it. But first and foremost, you shouldn't be traveling right now. The whole world's under threat. Anyone know what she's scared about this time? Tell me, how's the world gonna end this time? Did Stephen Hawking discover right before he died that the Mayan calendar actually meant to say 2020? Was it a millennium bug? A meteor? I ignores mockery and gets right into the conspiracy mode. Whenever her voice changes, now confident and authoritative as she regurgitates a stream of pseudo facts and theories. Her logo, okay, confuses me. Look for some overarching meaning among the chaotic, choppy sentences. The government's hiding the truth. Biological weapons of mass destruction. A worldwide depopulation plot. The Spanish flu of the 21st century. High transmission rates. Secret laboratories. A viral pandemic. Locking down cities. Quarantines. Mom keeps starting new trains of thought and abandoning them. Each new word generating 3 more associations, which then keeps multiplying. I can barely follow. Actually sounds more reasonable than usual. She usually has the episodes in the run up to each anniversary of my parents' divorce when she goes off her meds. Until now, though, she specialized in the kooky and the occult. This time she seems to be referring to facts and science-based ones to boot. heard about that stuff on the news, till I hadn't paid much attention, too busy thinking about refugees. I promise to think this through, but it's too late for a change of plans. I'm not coming back from Africa right now. I see. Mom says I'm willingly accepting my decision. She sounds calmer. Me, on the contrary, I feel a seed of anxiety sprouting in my stomach, as if her emotions have been transferred to me. But please stay reasonable. Take care of yourself. I love you, she adds. I love you too, Mom. Bye. I say and hang up. And then I go to the bathroom and take a morning piss, wash my hands, look up at the mirror, don't recognize my reflection. My face is covered with an unkept beard, several weeks old, this way to hide my European features. To where I resemble a refugee. It's time to make use of my camouflage. Let's get to work. Put on the white hotel bathrobe, leave the room, and take the elevator to the ground floor. The hotel buffet serves breakfast all day. It's really hard to work on an empty stomach. I choose... how about today's gourmet special? Gourmand. Today's gourmet special, I asked the waiter to recommend something. 15 minutes passed and he brings me poached eggs on Parmesan and crusted asparagus, garnished with a little lime zest and served on toast bulgur and mint salad. Just water for me, thank you. I don't want to lose any of the flavors. Golden yolk swirls around the plate and thins lightly when it touches the steaming asparagus straight from under the broiler. The freshness of the mint finds a pleasant nutty counterpoint in the bulgur. The dressing must be tahini based. I only know tahini from Red Dead. Sure, yeah. Inspiring and local too. My culinary exaltation makes me reach for my notebook. I taste each bite. Tofu. I jot down my thoughts, enjoying every second of this. The meal takes over an hour, but it was worth it. I'm 7 paragraphs deep into my morning gastronomical odyssey. I finally get to work. I can finally start at work, look through my notebook and folder with local context. I summarize what I managed to do so far. One day has already gone by in Africa and haven't yet tracked down a refugee who could lead me to the smugglers. I have one more night left in Alexandria. I don't want to play out of pocket. I need to check out by noon tomorrow. Left is this day and tomorrow morning. It's crunch time. So far, I think about what I managed to accomplish. And I met Isaac. The man who supposedly knows everyone in Egypt, so relying to that fact though, at least I haven't managed to alienate him like I did Eric. Well, I'm pretty sure some of my decisions in this video are probably different from the previous one, but that video is like ages old, so it's still the third chapter or fourth now, so not all is lost. It's not all. I did yesterday. Profit and loss balance goes on. I also managed to eat well. I found refugee, but my palate can't complain about lack of sensations. It's not all. I did yesterday. Okay, I'm screwed. That's all I can come up with. It's not great. That's why I'm screwed. The book is not coming together so far. Can't afford to be so relaxed and nonchalant today. Now I need to plan every step. Eric. I live a meeting. I hear a beep once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5. Number you're trying to reach is currently unavailable. Please leave a message after the tone. Call again. Something happens. I guess I'll try with Isaac. Try again. We'll just meet up with Eric. Any longer, Eric's the most promising of my contacts. I'm going to get a refugee from him today, regardless how busy he may be. Full of determination. Okay, let me sit you. I leave the hotel restaurant and go to my room to pack before I head to the home of hope. Alright, so get into the elevator. Classical music is humming in the little speakers. Reach the 9th floor. Door slide open. Take a quick shower, get dressed, and call a taxi. Half an hour later, I'm there. The home of hope. Cute. Despite the early hour, there is commotion at the home of hope. truck is parked in the driveway and volunteers are unloading what looks to be metal machine parts and scraps of all kinds. Look for Eric. No time to dilly-dally. There isn't a single white European in the yard. All the people working here are dark skinned. They're all carrying scrap metal to the back of the shed. The warehouse is still locked, but a number of people are hanging around the makeshift office building. Office. Someone on Eric on the doorstep. He's undocumented, then gives it to the driver of the delivery truck. Son Kim? No. Too long, hard look at me. Do I know you? He asks. I explained that I'm a writer from Poland. We exchanged emails and he agreed to an interview when I came to Egypt, so here I am. It's Bell, yeah? Eric interrupts. He goes up to the truck in the yard and gives some orders to the volunteers. For a moment, I feel like he's forgotten about me. Wait patiently. Eric continues his business. A minute passes, and two, he gets a conversation with a tiring African, explaining some technical details in English. After another 3 minutes, the African walks away to do what he was asked. After number two, Jacob starts helping to unload the truck. Later, Jacob is still hauling the metal dump to the backyard. 15 minutes, and he promised to give me. It's almost up. Doesn't know I'm still here. Eric looks up. Sorry, volunteer work is a constant struggle for attention. There's always something to do. Let's get some coffee. I'll tell you what to write in that little book of yours. Go for interview, not a lecture. When I was hoping for interview, there's some questions. We need a lecture. I watch YouTube videos. They write volunteers or read non-fiction stories from the camps. I've already done that. What do you say? One was Eric, but let's find a quieter place in. There's too much on here. Can't focus. Warehouse should be empty by now. He needs to be toilet. Locks padlock on the door. With a key, lets me go first. Side tall shelving reaches the ceiling, almost like a furniture store warehouse. Where the flat packs, the cardboard boxes contain secondhand clothing, canned food, and still sealed humanitarian aid packages. Songkep's demeanor changes. No longer reserved and humorous, he looks as if he were at home. He puts electric kettle on and puts out 2 cups and 2 teaspoons of instant coffee to each. You like the home of hope? He asked. I've been here long enough to give an opinion. Got the question saying, data, I've been here long enough. Let me help you form one, says Eric. The hum of the water boiling stops with a click. Eric pours it into the cups and serves coffee. He sits down in front of me in a plastic folding chair. Right, interview. Peeks into a notebook to look through the questions, prepared and wonder what strategy I should pick to get the scoop on a refugee. Bill trusts slowly and only asks for help at the end. Try to coax information out of Eric, manipulating him so he doesn't even realize what my final goal is. Maybe shoot straight, reveal my real motivation right away, and ask for help. Honestly, I feel like with Eric, I feel like we should either build trust or be honest, but at the same time, I feel like with Eric, honesty is gonna work the best. Nothing the best, I say. The book I'm writing, I don't want it to be another non-fiction piece written from an observer's perspective. Read at least a dozen of those. Raz travels to a place where refugees depart from, talks to locals, to their stories, and they try to describe what people are feeling. Every time to understand them or miss, he simply can't. Both opinions. Leave you wanting more. All you're left with is the impression of an even taller wall rising between the reader and the refugee's world. If a journalist can't even incredibly understand them, then what chance do I have as a reader? Even when I come across a book whose author tried to cross the sea with the refugees, in fact, it's already been done. Crossing the sea by Wolfgang Baer, or Bayer, I think. Anyway, even then, it was just a story of a man who couldn't cross. I see no point in adding to the hundreds of books that are already there in the market. What for? How am I better than the other writers? It only makes sense to me to take a risk. I'm talking about a deadly risk here. To cross with refugees myself. To really get on that boat. To really spend those days and hours on an overcrowded deck. I believe it's the only way to get the world interested in the refugees' plight. Today in 2020, when the media's focus has been shifted away, as if people had suddenly stopped crossing the Mediterranean legally, How can one attract the world's attention, or at least Europe's, to the refugees' tragedy? That's why I have something to ask you. Don't sensationalize it. Just be honest. That's why I have something to ask you. Put me in touch with someone who planned to cross, someone who will lead me to the smugglers. I want to cross with them. I know it's dangerous. I know it's stupid, but I feel it's the right thing to do. There is no other way. I exhale as I finish my monologue. Eric lifts his cup to his lips, but it's already empty. Awkward gesture expresses his helplessness towards my request. He clearly taken a liking to me, but my request is problematic. Is it illegal? Eric replies, my hope runs a fully legal charity. I do not know anything about the smuggling traffic, nor do I have access to such information. I want nothing to do with it. Now people stay in Africa instead of fleeing for Europe. Therefore, I can't help you, even if I wanted to. Sonkep shakes my hand and leads me to the exit. It's better if we never met again, he announces, singing to get a hope. Well, Gator the home of hope. Well, at least he was honest, and I was honest with him. We played the one defeated. I glanced at my watch, it's still early. Finally, decided to spend my remaining time at Alexandria. Yeah, see Isaac. It takes me to Isaac's place in an unmarketed touristy district in the center of the city. Past the cafe located right by the front door of the building. It's at the front door. Calls the apartment number on the intercom. Hello, voice says. Who's there? I introduce myself. Someone pause. You're the Uric guy. Serious speaker realizes. 4th floor. Beep goes the door. As I open it, I enter the staircase. Finally, success. Excited, I run to the 4th floor, hoping the 3 stairs. Hop at 3 stairs at a time. The door to Isaac's apartment is ajar. I walk in and I come face to face with a suited man. So this must be Isaac. Clean shaven, short and chubby, with his figure almost resembling a soccer ball. He's looking at himself in the mirror hanging on his hallway wall. He seems to be admiring his own countenance, looking at it slowly and savoring its features. You're lucky. 1 more minute you would have missed me. I would be going out. And a few errands around, he explains. Come, we'll talk on the way. Leads me out onto the staircase. Once he's out of the apartment, he previously lethargic demeanor gives way to a lively energy. 3 stops, he says, dusting down the stairs peppily. Muslim Brotherhood, my business partner, the Syrians, and so religious fundamentalists, escapists who fear them, and the bridge that keeps it all together. You're about to see a cross-section of Alexandria. You won't be disappointed. We walk out into a busy street. This time of day is full of local passerby and tourists. Isaac stops for a moment and takes a deep breath of air. Exhaust fumes, sweat, and bubbling oil. Listen to the smell of home, my beloved Alexandria. A city of possibilities, but still hopes. Disappointment is so lucrative. People are looking at us. I know several people, mostly the vendors, the local fruit and souvenir stall, are looking at us and murmuring outraged remarks under their breath, as if Isaac's presence was controversial or scandalizing in some way. And this is the waiter is talking to a police patrol at the local cafe. He looks away. We walk on. We're all finally a few minutes before 1 p.m. We manage to leave Isaac's neighborhood. Oh, I'd like to see the little lines on the map. Low-rise tenement houses grow into high-rise apartment buildings. Narrow streets broadened by several lanes. Military patrol. Past military patrol, President else is holding us by the throat. Explain in case we feel like repeated. Street food stall. He is set in the fast pace. Stink smell aromatic spices draws my attention to a street food stall. It's cold sharing. As explains. Noodles, rice, lentils, and chickpeas with tomato sauce. Oh, I love chickpeas. Additional dish. Try it if you can trust your stomach. Why not? Hotel, bank, McDonald's. Isaac's phone is constantly ringing and giving us time to talk. Post office, hostel, and grocery store. But a tourist, not a reporter. Isaac isn't the best guy. I might as well be walking the streets of Alexandria alone. But I've learned a little bit about the city now. Only Isaac stops chatting on the phone. The walk seems to be boring him now. He asks what exactly I'm planning to describe in my book. So about my project, I remind him that I'm looking for someone to put me in touch with smugglers so I can cross the Med. Will he help me with that? That's the question. He wonders why I've only come to Africa now. It's 2020, no one cares about the refugees anymore. Exactly why. We pass heavily littered Shalata gardens. The ruins of the ancient Alexandrian walls peek out from among the green. Except at a tall building near the park. Dick asked me to not move. He'll just pop in to pick some nut from his business partner. And when are we going to deal with my business? In due time. Dick shrugged and disappears in the belly of the building. Okay. 5 minutes pass. See, cat walks up, softly rubs my leg, asks for food or affection. I think of Ingalls. How's he doing without me? Is Hella taking good care of him? And I was supposed to text her when I landed in Egypt. Whatever. But he comes back carrying the travel backpack, which apparently he picked up from his business partner. He announces 2 more stops, Brotherhood and the Syrians. Move on, Isaac gets chatty. Oh, only 3% of Egypt's land is habitable. The rest is desert. It's like stuff with 100 million people into an area south of Belgium. Now loses the country's lifeline. Most cities grew around it. Meanwhile, the desert acts as a wall protecting us from invasions. So if underbelly is the Mediterranean Sea, we don't have the fleet to defend the shores. That's how the British conquered us. Something about refugees or smugglers. Patience, I think, pacifies me. Feel an unusual sensation in my stomach. I glad that this is Corsairi speaking. If I have a bathroom, I have diarrhea. Air means fresher and more invigorating. I think we're approaching the sea. True crowd thickens again. Think of the new virus. I think of the new virus my mom warned me about. They say it's transmitted through little droplets and can stay in the air for hours. If it's true, then crowded cities must be especially vulnerable to outbreaks. Yeah. Well, that's gonna change the route. As I change route, avoid crowds, a poor neighborhood full of tall apartment buildings. We step outside our mosque. I'll do Al-Baz, says Isaac, pointing at the majestic edifice with a 70-meter tall minaret pointing out to the sky. The architectural pearl of Alexandria, places that my friends reside in, are decidedly less palatable. Okay. We turn to a side street. Isaac reaches an old building with paint peeling off its walls. Currently going through a rough patch, he says. They were banned in 2014. There's nothing new in Egypt. Ever since the Brotherhood was started nearly 100 years ago, they're fluctuating between legality and illegality. Isaac hands me... This for me, please. Isaac hands me his backpack. I'm probably walking by myself. The brothers may frown upon the heathen like you. Best case scenario, you fuck up my business. Alright. We'll stay outside. I enter the building and I stay outside with his backpack. Look at my watch, it's 4 p.m. I have 20 hours to vacate my hotel room. Meanwhile, I'm sitting on the sidewalk waiting for my shady type to do his shady business with a shady brotherhood. On this suspicious package, I feel like I completely lost control over my fate. Time slipping through my fingers. Let's look into the backpack. So I find shady contents, some medicine, a bag of weed, some water purifying filters, children's art supplies, 5 passports. Leaf through the documents, they seem to belong to a married couple, German citizens, and their 3 children. The buyer looks like someone from Central Africa, while mother and children seem more Middle Eastern. Friend. Can I ask you something? Old man asked, passing by. You look worried. He appears to be about 70 and homeless, judging from his long yellow-gray beard, torn clothing, and bare feet. Though it's broken and grammatical, he can definitely speak English. This may be the impact of the British colonization on the older generation of Egyptians. Now, I'm not going to insult him. Anything. From being alone. You sure the old man persists? He seemed really worried. No wonder. What life have we got here? In Egypt? You know that your average Iraqi earns twice what the Egyptian earns? We are the proud country of pharaohs. The poor men from the war-torn desert are richer than us. You came here hoping for a better life, and you finished like everybody else, huh? In the streets? Where you run from, friend? And when I don't give him an answer, he resumes in Arabic. Syria? Jordan? He was taking me for a refugee? Incredible. He has taken me for a refugee. I've been able, well, put on a local garb. A 2-month-old beard is apparently doing its job. Fishing was worth it. Or was it all due to the old man's poor eyesight? Now let's go along with it. No matter, fortune is smiling at me for the first time since I came to Egypt. I can't miss this chance. I lied that I'm Syrian. Make up a story for the old man. What a tragedy, he says. Your accent's a bit funny, I should say. I will ask no questions. All sort of different and all are strange. We're all living here as if we're less than human. No chances, no hopes. And Europe is right next to us. Well fed, fat even. All you need is some courage. And money? Me? I'm an old. But you? What do you got to lose? My brother can help you. He knows the sea. He knows how to avoid the patrols. He has helped many. Stunned. Seems I actually found our connection to refugee smugglers. So it may not happen again. Going. Oh. Hear Isaac's voice say as the door of the building closed behind him. He approaches the stands between me and the old man. Come, don't talk to this old goat. He's a con artist. Excuse me, old man, says ignorant. This is none of your business. We're talking politely. Get lost, beggar, or I'll call the police, Isaac says, pulling me away. Listen to a word he's saying. No, let's resist, because Isaac is shady. I spent half the day waiting for Isaac to run his errands. There was a gall to interrupt, just as something interesting is starting to happen. I want to finish my conversation with the old man. I asked him to put me in touch with the smugglers. Let him introduce me to his brother. The old man takes an accent, looking out of both of his rags. Give me your number, he says. I will send you mine. Don't give him anything, Isaac intervenes, or you'll get rid of them. Isaac's not the boss for me. I give the old man my number. A minute later, I get a text with the Egyptian number in it. It's the old man's brother. All done? Isaac asked, looking at me disapprovingly. Let's go then. I leave the old man behind and follow my guide. I know him. He hangs around here. He's a Brotherhood Seconizer, Isaac explains. And a fucking fascist. He hates everything that's not Egyptian, especially the refugees. He believes that they're ruining his motherland. He pretends to be friendly and caring, tries to help you cross, and then his buddies pack people onto dilapidated boats and then send them off to sea. They don't care if you get there or drown. They just want to get rid of the migrants and earn money doing it. Well, you don't, Isaac? Remain repeat fight? I do, of course. I don't send anyone to a certain death. He and his kind are the worst scum. At least I do it for the money, for the likes of him. The money is the perk to the extermination program they're running. He doesn't even consider them people. Listen. Isaac says more matter-of-factly and less emotionally. From the outside, it may look different. You may think I'm ignoring you, but it's not like that. I'm working on it. Thinking as I go. Coming up with solutions, scanning my network in my brain, testing out scenarios, comparing effect projections. I've been thinking about how I could help you all day, and I've thought this through. I have a plan. A good plan. Marco's 35, he's from the South Sudan, Isaac says. Ripping up the pace of our walk, the country has been around the top of the fragile states index for years. I cannot pronounce that name. If y'all can pronounce that name, especially the K, then go crazy, because I can't. But we'll see, just carrying gangs, wandering the dirt roads, militiamen, rebels invading villages by night, pillaging, stealing food, raping, and murdering. The Sudanese often don't know who it is. It's trying to kill them on a given day. Chaos and anarchy rule. If you haven't lived there, what's your choice? Run. Marco thought he only had one choice, stay in Sudan and get by. He felt responsible for his wife and his 5 kids, and most of all, for his old and ailing parents. They had no choice of surviving escape to the neighboring Uganda. The trek to the border takes several days, so he stayed home in his home village and worked the land to feed his family. The country was already facing famine. When his youngest son died of malnutrition, Marco needed to rethink his strategy. What would you do? Take up humanitarian aid camps? Decided that he had to work harder. He spent his days in the fields and got hired at a farm. Started commuting there. He wouldn't be home for weeks. One day he returned to the village and found no one was home, just corpses. They were all killed. He didn't even know who was to blame. War was to blame. You didn't think about that. He still had to run. Now he truly had nothing to lose, no one to care for, no one to feed. For weeks he walked through his fallen, war-torn country, and the exhausting march made him forget about his suffering. He wasn't along the Nile, no. He wasn't counting time. Until he got to Egypt. Specifically Alexandria. He reached the sea, he couldn't walk any further. So he settled down. Once turned to years, he had to support himself somehow. First he looked for a legal job, but no one wanted to employ a refugee. So I race pushed him to illegal work. Sometimes he was paid, sometimes he was cheated. It is what it is. How did Marco react? He didn't get angry. He didn't rebel. He didn't fight the world. That's life. He decided difficult and unfair. If a man in his prime gets his wages stolen, must be a weak or poor individuals who suffer even more. Sick, the old, who don't have as much energy to cope on their own. So he found the time to volunteer. That's how he met Sida. Sida, mother of 3. She lost her husband in the bombing of Damascus. Marco and Cedar moved in together. Kids are not his, but he treats them as if they were. He works to support them. He feels needed again, and he needs to be needed. Otherwise, the grief for his lost family would eat him up from the inside. Now, he's responsible again. He's something to fight for. For months, he waited to be granted asylum to provide Cedar and the kids with a better life. He tried all the legal paths. He even wrote a letter to Chancellor Merkel. Printing it to German cost him a week's wages. All in vain. What was he left to do? He could board the boat, cross the sea. Who knows? He could even reach the shores rather than drown. But he would never risk Cedar and the kids' lives. He lived for other ways. Then he met me. Isaac concludes, something in front of an unfinished high-rise building. Bare bricks, no paint, no plaster. They didn't even know us when we got to the suburbs, to a poor neighborhood. He requested forged documents, German passports. These things aren't cheap. He ordered 5 at once, and he paid the cash up front. He was saying for years. But when I heard his story, I decided to do it for free. No charge, Isaac announces. Reaching into his backpack and producing 5 passports. Pick them up today, and we'll give them to Marco. He, Cedra, and the kids can get on a plane and travel safely to Europe. Okay, but where's the story going? When in Frank, I replies Isaac, you won't make it across the sea. You won't survive the crossing. If you drown, it'll be very bad for my business. It will spoil my brand, scalp my customers. Which is why I decided you need a guardian, a guide, a companion, someone who will protect you throughout the journey. Someone strong and responsible. I think you get it by now. Isaac smiling. He looks confident, proud even. Picks Marco's passport out of the 5, throws the document into a garbage can. With one swift motion, he ruined the man's chances for a safe trip to Europe. Cedar and the kids will fly, and Marco has no other choice now. Isaac announces the boat is all he's got left. You pay for his voyage. He'll gratefully protect you. I can vouch for him. He's the best guide you'll find in Egypt. Come. There he heads toward the building. It's front. And I don't think I have a choice here. And of course I don't think I have a choice in how it's gonna go. Hopefully I can just I don't see an option. Save an option. But I believe I can just save, I guess. It'll save for me. I'm not sure. But this is We Are Refugees Ticket to Europe. As you can see right there in the left corner. I guess we're gonna be going with Marco to make this trip to Europe to learn more about the refugees and write this book. So I'll probably be playing the rest of the game on my own. If you're curious about this game and you want to play it for yourself, of course everything will be in the description below for you to play it. If not, that's totally fine. I think it's worth the playthrough because, you know, it's just dope. To me, it's dope. And it has a good story to it. So far, we've gotten all these memories. I see that's quite a bit. So there's a lot of context in here, a lot of in-depth information, a lot of memories you can unlock, people you can meet, stories that can be told. So if you're curious about this game, of course I highly suggest you play it. Try it yourself. You just may like it. I think you will like it. You know, if you're into these sort of games, But yeah, so I'm gonna end it here, and hopefully, you know, y'all enjoyed this video. Of course, if y'all did, don't hesitate to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. But with that being said, I'm gonna end it here. So hopefully y'all had a good day, a good yesterday, and better tomorrow, and I will catch y'all in the next video.